Anyway, fast forward to today. You've been working in the marketing sector for about 12 years. You've already talked about how you are in the part of a marketing team of a very big telecom company that I cannot mention because of something. But anyway, in the blue corner, no, introducing Mr. John Paul in the blue corner, representing marketing. Please.
All right. I mean, absolutely. I'm now swinging to the blue corner. Absolutely wonderful. So marketing, what's the case for marketing? And for so many businesses, this has been a challenge. Many businesses perceive it as a cost center till today because many marketers are not very apt to demonstrating, where they are really, investing these resources, and yet, they really are. But an oversight perspective, from a top line, marketers are your customer champions. They represent their customer ambassadors. Marketers are out there to understand and pinpoint customers that would and share value with them. Marketers' focus really is around identifying which market to focus on, or to segment the market. We don't have infinite resources, so you definitely have to pick out an audience that is more aligned to your products and services. Understand how you're going to reach them through your targeting elements, and then positioning your product brands or corporate brands into the minds of the customers. Marketers, whereas the salespeople think that the marketers are really, like you said, out of tune with reality. Those guys are never out in the field. They don't know. They don't know what's going on. They just come up with some ideas and take them to market. But the truth of the matter is, marketers also think that the salespeople are, just too focused on individual sales. So marketers have, oriented themselves and towards a more strategic, more long-term approach to the profession. That it's all about like positioning. If you're positioning your brand, you're dealing with people's perceptions. Changing a perception today, like me, I grew up believing in certain things. You will find changing perceptions and beliefs and value systems takes a bit of time. So marketing, by discipline, it's a rather long-term thing. It's about understanding and developing, competitive advantage approaches, and this takes time. The one thing that is clear, the common denominator between sales and marketing, I can tell you, is the customer, and that customer is changing. So sometimes it behooves me, when we somehow have the same agenda as sales and marketing, we are really, really, truly on the same side. We are supposed to be making the lives of the customer, creating value, communicating value, and providing the value to the customers. We are truly, truly on the same side, but somehow there is always that misalignment. So even for marketing, because our common denominator is usually the customer, could be an internal customer or it could be an external customer. The common denominator is that customer is changing, and therefore, even for the marketers today, we have to address those changes. They are there, they are prevalent, and they are very real. If we seek to use the same tools that we used yesterday to solve sort of today's problems, then we are running a very, very wrong race. Pfizer, we're running a very wrong race.
I love how you say both marketing and sales have the same agenda at the end of the day. Yeah. And for me, I started out as a marketeer. Anyway, I started out as an influencer.
Or engineer.
I started out as an engineer, then became an influencer, then joined marketing.
Right.
And whenever I see these guys going out to say, like, this scared, I'm like, wow, you're going to talk to people in Kasana and all that. And I'm like, I don't feel like that is for me. But as I did more and more research, I found out that even for marketing, I have to be able to build a customer persona. And I embarrassed myself in front of my then boss because this was a 5-star hotel I was working for. I was literally straight out of campus. And here I was pitching a campaign of free buy one pizza, get one free for 5-star hotel. So my boss looked at me and said, do you even have a buyer persona? I didn't even know what that meant.
True.
So he's like, you know what? Brian, start going with this boy to the field. And at first I was scared because I thought the field is go on a track, sing to people, guys. You know that hotel on top of the hill? Come. That's how I used to see sales.
Yeah.
So until I got incorporated with these guys, and these guys were cool. Like I used to think marketing was cool, but sales is amazing. So, this is how we do it.
Yeah.
Let's say we've come, we want business from you.
Yeah.
We show up and say, John, you know, gold-headed men are now on the rise. Market. Zimbabwe, they even kill you for gold. So, first of all, it has eliminated that whole point of you have just come to sell. Yeah. And for me, I feel like that's how marketing grew out of sales. Because at some point in time, salespeople just figured it out. We can't just go tell a person, buy this product. You literally have to start a conversation. And for some reason, I feel like that is marketing. Because that's what we do on socials. That's what we do in pamphlets, in brochures, on the website. It's conversation. So I understand why during my research, I figured it out that CIN, the Chartered Institute of Marketing, was once a sales institute. They literally just changed into marketing as time went on, but they were actually once a sales institute. So that's 20 marketing, 10 for sales. But what I'm trying to say is, as marketing, I want the customer, I want to make the experience better. And even when I became a salesperson, it was still the same goal. I wanted to make the customer fall in love with me. In that, when I leave my boss, I even go with this customer. Because they're like, wow, that boy is even going to give me free meals and all that. Now that we know sales and marketing are supposed to work together, why the animosity? Almost every brand I've worked for, we never get along. Yeah, I really don't know why. Maybe at one company, I got to the bottom of it. Sales was jealous because, marketing budgets, you see marketing budgets, they are insane. And then it came to the salespeople, they give them 50K, transport, food, everything of yours is there, facilitation and everything. So, if we both know that we're supposed to work together, why the animosity?
Okay, there's a good story there. That's a tough one. I hope when I go back to work tomorrow, my marketing colleagues don't look at me very strangely and say, "Boss, are we in the same corner here?" But and I think you've rightfully actually addressed it a bit. One side of the question already. But let me just take you back a bit. And you were right. I mean, marketing, in as much as most marketers may not really agree with this, but marketing actually sprung out of a sales sort of. We initially had certain kind of product orientations. It was only one product. You either buy it. I think I remember that with the advent of Ford. Ford had one car and it had one color. So if you wanted any other color of the Ford car, as long as it was black, you'd have it. So ideally, at that point, we were in the product orientation. It was just about the product and its futures. Then we got into the sales because of the industrial revolution, the machine and technology came into place. So there was mass production. So it led to the need to go out and sell because now the products were, overly saturated on the market. So that's where the sales orientation came in. And now people had to go out and, talk to people and entice them about, and then later on, everybody was out there. There were so many products on the market. And now, the marketing orientation came out because now it was not just about the customer. It was also important to understand who your competitors are. It was also now important to understand the customers a bit better. Somebody may want a fridge, but what kind of fridge do they want? Do they want a self-defrost? What exactly do they do? What size? Some people would even want customized, one with engineer Faisal, that's the brand name and stuff like that. So marketing sprung out and, just to try and understand customers a little bit better, come up with better products for them that are more in tune with their needs and preferences, and then probably even charge a bit more. And that's where, marketing comes up. And then, the orientations keep changing. Now we are into holistic marketing, and it's evolving. And that's the reason why you would actually say marketing sprung from, sales. So I don't know whether that's another 5 for sales, maybe. Yeah. But So where's this animosity, like you seem to imply? And yes, I agree. In very many departments or organizations, there is that sort of discomfort. Maybe not animosity, but maybe a bit of discomfort. But also, let's just track it from by understanding, marketing and sales in SMEs first before we go maybe to the big companies and stuff. Because this is, sometimes even for SMEs, they don't even bother having a marketing resource or a marketing department. Truth be told, for them, marketing is same as sales, period. Up until a time when maybe the sales guys become overwhelmed, and then they're like, okay, maybe we need to get somebody, or as the companies become more successful, then they think of coming up with a marketing resource or a marketing, just to literally relieve the salespeople of some core duties like branding and what. And actually, sometimes in some organizations, all those people do is print pull-up banners and and that's it. It's such a very limited scale. But eventually, as organizations keep growing and developing, then they realize that there is need for planning. It's not just about sales of the day. It's about, you have to product develop. You need to, work together with other departments. And I think that is really the acid test. A truly mature organization has, marketing and sales working together, and not just those departments, but also the other departments like, finance and etc. There's also another battle. Maybe it should be for next time. Marketing and finance. You notice, I'll tell you what. And the marketers are going to really crucify me on this one. But look around this market. How many CEOs have become, or individuals have become CEOs when they have a marketing background? More often than not, you're going to find people in finance, accounting, and all the other disciplines, getting to the senior, CEO level. But why? What is it about marketing? And I'll tell you, and I think that's what you're really asking. So this whole question, it's because sales are seen to be more tangible. Sales are easily seen. And maybe the marketing people are not doing a very good job at demonstrating the value that they are bringing to the table. And that is informed by two predominant issues. One was the economic question that you mentioned. Sometimes, the budgets differ. Marketing, they're going to ask for X amount of money, usually very obscene amounts. Sometimes, to go and do some campaign to increase awareness and what, sometimes very generic, objectives. We're not very clear. Whereas the sales guy is going to say, look here, give me a commission of this, give me, allow for this discounts, give me 20 extra people, and we are going to guarantee you these, So the conversation is budget at one point. Guys, we are not seeing, you're not demonstrating the value of the budgets you're being given. Whereas these salespeople are, and that's why, Faisal, you realize that in many large organizations, sometimes when there's a downscaling or budget or downsizing or whatever, salespeople usually are the last really to get that. Most of the guys they are going to first attack is the vast budget is marketing, So it's a budget allocation issue. And we really need to address these issues, but I guess we will discuss that. But also, there is also a cultural sort of conflict between, the type of people that are employed by these disciplines. How do they spend their time? Marketers tend to be more analytical. Marketers are data oriented. Marketers, plan campaigns. These are long term. They are really focused on competitive and building competitive advantage for the future. A sales guy, you don't have time to be thinking about, you have a pipeline, you have to deliver. Your boss is looking down onto you. Some people don't even, go to office these days. They don't want, sometimes when they see you in office, your boss is like, oh, but what's going on? Like, what are you doing here? Literally. So, that's, you're under, that kind of pressure to deliver now, So, and even the tracking of performance is based on probably end month, sometimes even end week. Where are we? How many leads? How many have you closed? How many? So, it's a culture. The sales-oriented culture is different from a marketing-oriented. So when you are a marketer and you want to benchmark, and let me tell you something, the sales guys have a lot of information. They are first-hand. They are on ground. But they will, to get them and be like, guys, let's sit here in this boardroom and we share experience. The guys will be like, guys, what are you talking about? I don't have time for that. I have to close this sale. I have to close the other, etc, etc. So it's also a cultural conflict. And, it's imperative that the businesses deliberately and intentionally try to salvage these gaps. Because I'm telling you, if these gaps are not addressed, we are going to tear each other. And guess who the common denominator is going to suffer? And that is the customer. So for instance, we are talking about the sales pitch being delivered through a customer experience, and that, it is now no longer, I'm not a sales representative. These guys are looking for friends. They're looking for processes and structures that help them to meet their needs. So if you do not collaborate, sales loses, marketing loses, the company loses, the customer loses. So ultimately, I think what we need to be doing right now is having a conversation around how these is it even possible that these two departments can meet eye to eye and work together cross-functionally and have that kind of integration? Or should we just, it's already broken, let's try to fix it, and if we fail, we just carry along?